The top 10 laws broken by Donald Trump. In all the years we've endured Donald Trump, it's easy to forget the insane amount of times he's broken the law and gotten away with it. In this list, we'll cover the stories of Trump's law breaking you might have forgotten about, and the one time, so far, where he was actually held accountable. Number 10. Falsifying business records. Election interference by covering up an affair. We begin our list where accountability finally began for Donald Trump. In May 2024, Trump was convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records, felonies since the misclassified payments broke campaign finance laws and tax laws. It might not sound as bad as smuggling national defense secrets into his bedroom, but this cover-up arguably helped Trump become president. If the story of Trump's affair had gotten out, and if it cost him a fraction of a percent of the vote in a few key swing states, Trump would have lost in 2016. It's the first time a president has been convicted of any crime, but it may not be the last for Trump. Number 9. The Emoluments Clause, profiting off the presidency. The Emoluments Clause bans presidents from taking outside money while in office. The American Constitution Society calls it the Constitution's original anti-corruption provision, and Donald Trump trampled all over it. While president, Trump took money from lobbyists, CEOs of pharmaceutical companies, oil companies, and more as membership dues for his private social clubs. But the Trump International Hotel in D.C. was the biggest magnet for anyone giving money to Trump. The governor of Maine and his staff booked over 40 rooms in the hotel while lobbying Trump for a specific executive order. T-Mobile booked rooms there while trying to get government approval for a merger. Saudi Arabia booked 500 rooms at the hotel within months of Trump's inauguration. Citizens for Ethics and Responsibility in Washington, CREW, identified over 150 foreign government officials that stayed at the hotel, from a Bahraini diplomat to the Romanian defense minister to the Russian ambassador. Donald Trump took their money, all while he was supposed to be serving America. Number 8. Financial fraud in the Trump Organization. In February 2024, Trump was ordered to pay over $350 million plus interest for civil fraud in New York. For years, the Trump Organization fraudulently valued properties they owned. To banks, the Trump Org would inflate property values to borrow more money at lower interest rates. To the government, they gave low values to dodge taxes. Even though this was a civil case, Attorney General Letitia James did refer it for criminal investigation too, for insurance fraud and bank fraud. Number 7. The Presidential Records Act, destroying government property. Donald Trump is wrong. The Presidential Records Act does not let him steal national defense secrets. It does, however, require that he send his presidential letters, memos, and other documents to the National Archives for preservation. Trump couldn't be bothered to do that. He just ripped them all to pieces. His chief of staff kept telling him to stop tearing up records. It was illegal after all, and Trump just ignored him. He casually broke the law in business, and he continued in the White House. Number 6. Obstructing the probe into Russian election interference. Robert Mueller's report on Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election had a second volume. Volume 2 cites 10 times when Trump arguably obstructed justice during the FBI's investigation. These include Trump's firing the FBI director for investigating Russia, passing on an order to fire Bob Mueller himself, and then ordering staff to lie to investigators about it, and coercing witnesses not to cooperate with Mueller. Some witnesses did lie to the FBI in the probe, and Trump later pardoned them. Number 5. Trying to extort election interference from Ukraine. In 2019, Congress authorized $400 million in military aid for Ukraine to defend itself against Russia. Donald Trump saw an opportunity for himself. He had a phone call with the newly elected president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky thanked Trump for the aid, but Trump interjected, quote, "I would like you to do us a favor, though," end quote. He told Zelensky to discuss conspiracy theories with Rudy Giuliani and Bill Barr, the Attorney General. Theories about Russia supposedly being framed for election interference and Joe Biden supposedly dealing corruptly in Ukraine. Afterwards, Trump, through an aide, ordered the Pentagon to withhold the military funding, and the White House hid the official transcript of the call from the public. This was all the subject of Trump's first impeachment, though, as we all know, the Senate voted to keep him in office anyway. Number 4. Contempt of court, intimidating witnesses, jurors, and others. Trump's lawbreaking goes beyond financial fraud and abuse of power. His public intimidation of anyone who challenges him can have violent consequences. He spread lies about a court clerk in his New York civil fraud case. In the falsified documents case, Trump publicly attacked the judge's daughter, witnesses, the jury, and tweeted a photo of himself wielding a baseball bat at the head of the chief prosecutor. While president, he attacked his accusers in his first impeachment as traitors or spies, and he's given pardons and lucrative jobs to those who stay loyal to him. Seriously, by this point in the list, we realize how easy it is to lose count of the things that Trump hasn't been charged with, but probably should be. Speaking of which, number 3, sexual misconduct. In 2023, Donald Trump was found liable for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll. But there are dozens of straight-up sick allegations against Trump going back decades. BuzzFeed reports 4 girls as young as 15, repeat, 15, saying that Trump would walk right into the changing room of the Miss Teen USA, repeat, Miss Teen USA competition while they were changing. On the Howard Stern Show in 2005, Trump actually bragged about strolling through the beauty pageant dressing rooms, saying, quote, "I sort of get away with things like that," end quote. That sounds a lot like him bragging to Billy Bush that, quote, "When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything," end quote. So many women have told similar stories of Trump forcibly kissing and groping them that journalists Barry Levine and Monique Alfazi wrote an entire book citing 42 claims of Donald Trump's sexual misconduct. Number 2, the Espionage Act, mishandling national secrets. Every American with a security clearance is trusted to protect our national security, and the president is trusted with our most sensitive secrets. But if there's one thing we've learned from the list so far, trusting Donald Trump to obey the law is a huge mistake. In 2019, Trump shared a top-secret photo of an Iranian rocket on social media, revealing our spy capabilities to the enemy. He once waved classified intelligence at reporters in the Oval Office, including to a photographer. He discussed intelligence surrounding a North Korean missile launch while dining at Mar-a-Lago next to a foreign president and surrounded by club members, about whom Trump bragged, quote, "They've paid me a fortune," end quote. Finally, as detailed by Jack Smith's 2023 indictment, Trump smuggled hundreds of classified documents to his social club in Florida and showed them off multiple times. The reason this is all illegal is because our national security is at stake. Number 1, conspiring to overthrow the United States government, the 2020 election. Joe Biden won the 2020 election, but Donald Trump never accepted it. He pressured state officials into retroactively changing their laws to declare him the winner. He conspired to have fake electoral college delegates submit votes to compete with those of real electors. He pressured the Justice Department and the Vice President to sabotage the vote certification. This all culminated in the January 6, 2021 terrorist attack on the Capitol. Police were assaulted with lead pipes, stun guns, clubs, a metal fence stake, and other weapons. Officers suffered brain injuries, broken bones, and lost body parts, including an eye and a fingertip. Multiple protesters died too, including one trampled to death by the mob. The mob chanted, "Hang Mike Pence," and aides in the White House Situation Room scrambled into continuity of government meetings. Those are meetings designed to handle the mass slaughter of the Congress, the Vice President, and others. Those meetings were only ever held on September 11th, 2001 and January 6, 2021. From Vanity Fair, analysts in that meeting wondered, quote, if the Vice President would survive the day, and unsure whether America's 245-year-old democratic experiment was crashing to an end. Financial fraud, assaulting women, threatening national security and the future of America itself. Let us know your thoughts on Donald Trump's law breaking in the comments. Spread the word and share this video with others.